what's up, everybody? Garrett hanging out Saturday night online, sitting across from Enrique Iglesias. How are you?
Mr. Garrett!
How are you?
I'm here reading the New York Post. I feel good.
You feel good?
Yeah.
You had a good poop this morning?
I did.
All right, good.
Actually, no. Now that you say that, I took Pepto like two days ago. I've been clogged up.
All right, we got to work on that.
Is that too much info?
All right, let's talk about Turn the Night Up. A single that you have out now, but you haven't had it. It's the first single you haven't collaborated with in a while. Like, normally you have a collaboration on it. It's your first single all by yourself. In a while.
Is it my first single by myself? Actually, yeah, you're right. Actually, I have had a lot of collaborations. Most of the singles that I put out. It's just, I don't know. I mean, I don't really plan so much collaborations. What I do is, you write the songs, and then you think about who would I like to collaborate with in this song, and then you play it to that person. If they like it, they don't like it. But this one actually doesn't. Ooh, wait. Let me correct myself. There actually is one version with a collaboration with B.O.B.
That's coming out, but the one that we first hear is just you, and then
sir.
There's you could call it a remix or just a collaboration later on. But this first single that when people buy it on,
it's just myself.
Is just yourself.
I'm very sorry.
No, sorry for what? What do you got to be sorry about? It just shows that you're so proud and passionate about your music, which you are all the time. That you felt something special about the song, right?
I mean, look, whenever you put out a song, you wouldn't put it out if you didn't think it had something special. Sometimes you hit it out of the park. Sometimes you don't. This one feels good. It's a fun record. It's energetic. It puts me in a good mood, and I think it's a good opener for the album. The rest of the album's not really like that, but this one's, I think, was a good opener.
Now, you spent a lot of time on this, too, and I mean, given we haven't really seen you out within the last year, but you're constantly working, from what I hear. You're always in the studio. You go to bed at 7 a.m.
Yeah.
I mean, do you ever, just take time off and just, soak it all in and, go hang out on vacation and just get away from it all?
No, I do get vacation time. The thing is, when the minute you finish a cycle where you've been touring and promoting an album, most of the time I immediately go back into the, if I go on vacation, for example, if it's more than 4 days, I'll go, by the third day I go nuts. So I feel like I got to go back into the studio and write. I just want to write songs as much as possible, because I know that making an album can be a long process. It could take, it could take 6 months or it could take 6 years. But it's one thing, you cannot really plan it. You never know when you're going to come up with that song. Yeah.
And now with it too, we were talking collaborations earlier too. With your album, are there friends of yours that you've worked with in the past that we'll hear from, Pitbull or Flo Rida?
There's a few collaborations. I don't want to talk about them yet because I'm still finishing the album up, and don't
want to jinx it.
I'm a little superstitious for those things, but there is some.
What do you got to be superstitious about?
I mean, you
put out music and it's good no matter what.
That's not. I wish you were right. There's a lot of. Look, whenever I put a song, is because I feel good about it. That doesn't mean my fans are going to connect with it. I try to be as real as possible with my music, in the sense that if I didn't like it, I wouldn't put it out. But you cannot go into the studio, or you cannot write songs just thinking about what other people are going to like, because then you're going to go absolutely nuts. You got to do what you like, and that's the most important thing. And then if what you like is what your fans like and what people like, then that's great.
And people have told you that you've presented your music in front of, and they weren't as passionate as you were. But
I've had a lot of flops.
But not flops, but what they thought would have been flops, but actually turned out to be big hits for you, though.
Oh, that's also happened. Yeah, I mean, throughout my career, I've had all, ups and downs. But you learn a lot. You learn more from the downs than the ups, to tell you the truth.
Something that everyone could take from that, just in general in life.
Definitely.
Now, it was speaking last one on collaborations too. It might be on the album, might not be on the album. I want your 3 lists of females. You work a lot with males, but females that you would personally like to work with, or maybe that you're planning on working
females
with.
That I would like to work with. Ooh, I don't know. I would have to think about that.
Or at least one.
It comes down to the song. A lot of it comes down to what's happened to me in my career that I've noticed a lot of times is that if you think of who you want to collaborate with before you actually come up with a song, it never happens.
So you write the song first, and then you say, someone could be on this.
Yes, I do. Before in the past, I never used to do it that way, and I never used to work out. Because it's just too much pressure, and then you really want to work with that person, and it's too stressful. And it's just better to come up with a song that you feel confident, you feel is good, and then you play to that person, the person you want to collaborate with. If they like it, great. If they don't like it, well, there's nothing you can do about that.
Now, one personal question, I think you'll be honest with me and answer. Have you ever had sex to your own music?
No, I have not had sex to my own music.
Or have you had sex to an artist that you're friends with?
That's a good question.
Have you had sex to a Pitbull song?
Who hasn't had sex to a Pitbull song?
I figured it could it'd just be interesting to hear that if you had sex to your own music.
But that's actually a good question.
Now, speaking of your music,
too, play. Yeah, let me put it in play.
Yeah, it would just be weird. I mean, are you done with ballads?
I'm not done with ballads. I actually have ballads on this album.
First time in a while too, because that we have heard. Because I haven't heard a ballad from you in a good couple of years.
Yeah, I know. It's been quite a while.
Do you choose to stay that way and just want to do fun music?
No, not at all, not at all. For me, ballads, actually, up-tempos are more difficult to write for me at times. But it all comes down to radio, also to what you guys want to play. It just doesn't come down to me.
I know that.
I wish it was that easy. But there is songs. This album has the fun songs, the more sexual songs, and then the more type of ballad love song.
Now, is it still weird for you about press just in general? Like, for instance, there was a story that you were throwing a birthday party, or someone was throwing a birthday party for you, but the press everywhere picked it up like, oh, Enrique's having a secret wedding that no one knows about, and he's disguising it as a birthday party.
That is crazy. Because sometimes it's the same like news that cycled. Like every 1 year or 1 year and a half or 2 years, it cycles around and it's the same thing. And I've had. Sometimes it's pretty crazy what you can read in the press. Supposedly I got married, and there was, or if
you've been married 9 times apparently.
I have. I have like 10 kids.
Now we got a bunch of questions from our fans too, though. Love for you to answer. So from at Saturday Online, from Lauren Elaine XOXO 30M. Just in case you want to remember that later. That's a long one. Last album or song that you purchased?
The last album or song that I purchased was, man, I feel so bad saying this, but I haven't purchased an album in a long time. I've been purchasing songs.
What song have you purchased?
Which is crazy. I got Get Lucky. That was the last one that I purchased.
Actually,
the Miley Cyrus song was the last one I purchased.
She'll love that.
Yeah, I love her new song.
Miss B. Iglesias wants to know which song best represents your life so far out of your songs.
Which one represents my life? I wouldn't know. Lyrically, I wouldn't. Honestly, I wouldn't.
What are you most proud of? What song are you most proud of then?
Like they're all
your babies.
I would tell you that my first album, just because what it means to me and what it meant to me in that moment in time, and how it changed my life. My first album, which was in Spanish.
Yeah. Henry Churches, what inspired you to make a song, Turn Up the Night?
Turn the Night Up.
Yeah, no. See, a fan even knows.
I know.
We got some work to do with the PR people.
I know. What inspired me to do that? It was just, I was saying before in an interview that it was just me walking around saying, there's a phrase on the song that says, give me some of that. It was just me screwing around doing that, and we wrote a song around that.
Let's see. Enrique Team 4H wants to know, can you give us the album name?
I have an album name, but just in case I change it, I'd rather not say it. Well, why don't you put it out there, too, for the fans to tweet you some names and maybe, we spoke about that yesterday. It's funny you mentioned that.
I'm secretly in on the meetings. Let's see. Jess Enrique wants to know, are you doing another world tour soon?
I should. 2014 for sure. I'll be doing another world tour.
And obviously you save all the money because you have one outfit every night.
Exactly. I do. That's
where all the money gets
saved. That's the
easiest
thing. I'm not. When it comes down to clothing and stuff, I'm like, I try to make it as simple as possible and just feel as comfortable as possible. But you have to have in mind, my last tour kind of finished like I've been touring for the last 3 years, a lot.
Now, Rachel wants to know, do you still suffer from insomnia, and how do you deal with it? Love you.
I do. There's good nights, and there's nights that I don't sleep very well, but it doesn't matter.
Do you watch a lot of TV, or do you just go into the studio and start getting creative?
I go to the studio. If not, what I do now is I get on the computer, which is probably not a good thing, because it makes it even worse.
The internet is a bad thing at 4 a.m. in the morning. And then finally, too,
or it could be a good thing.
Or it could be a good thing, depending on how you look at it, too. Diana wants to know, what's the one thing you do before you go on stage every night?
The one thing I go to the bathroom before I go on stage.
You just got to go?
I have to go.
Has there ever been that situation where you're on stage and you really had to go?
But not for number 2, number 1.
Yeah, but still, that you had to go, that you had to somehow like pull a Bieber and pee in a bucket somewhere off stage?
I never really peed in a bucket. I peed in a corner, but I don't know the bucket.
All right. So Turn the Night Up, Enrique's first single. So glad to have you back. New music on the way, and we appreciate you hanging.
Thank you so much for having me here.